Afternoon, everyone. It's been so long since I've done a video, so I felt like it's finally time to ramp it back up. I read an article that someone posted on Facebook today, and it really prompted me to want to share my thoughts on it and just to share the article with all of you because I thought it was so poignant and so true to how, at least I personally feel. Bring it up just because I wanted to make sure I say everything correctly. It was from Psychology Today's website. It's called Three Things the Chronically Ill Wish Their Loved Ones Knew. It's by Toni Bernhard. And she wrote such an amazing article, and it was just really hit home. And it was everything, things that I've always thought and I've always felt. And so it was really nice to hear someone else echo those feelings as well. So I kind of want to go through those three things and basically how I have dealt with them and how, I've been with them with life. So number one was the grief we feel over the life we've lost may reemerge now and then indefinitely. And this is so, so true. Um, Especially, when it comes to potentially, having kids or getting pregnant or just with work or, a lot of activities I used to like to do. You start to accept those aspects of your life that things just aren't going to happen. And then one day something happens and then it just comes back in and you just think about it and you can't get over your feelings, your anger, your frustration, your, oh my God, I thought I was over this, but I'm not feeling. And so it's just, I feel like it's something that's just going to continually happen throughout life, and that's just part of it. And it's part of, for me, learning to grow, to be stronger, and to accept those things. I'm not perfect, so there's definitely times things are going to come up, and I'm going to fall apart and cry for a day, but it happens, and it's more me just wanting people out there to know this happens to us. And so if that happens, if there's a day where we're just really pissy mood or something happens and maybe there's something that kind of triggered there for us, and we just want you guys to accept that and know it's okay. It's just part of our process of dealing and accepting life as it comes to us. So that one was really, really poignant. Number two, we can feel as if we're letting you down even though you've repeatedly told us we're not. Yes. My husband Craig especially knows this. There's so many times I want to go do things or with his friends or coworkers, and I'm like, that sounds awesome, but I know I can't keep up. And so I feel bad 'cause it's like I want to go do these things, but I don't want to hold them back. And I hate staying home or, him staying home because he feels bad. And so it's like, I know you say it's okay, but then I also know, man, I don't want to be, interfering with your fun and your happiness too. So it's hard for me personally to be okay with not being able to do it. I know physically I have my limits, and so I have to respect those, but that doesn't mean I'm okay with it. And so I feel that one. That one's a rough one for me because I've always been really bad about pushing myself or just wanting to be able to do what everyone else can do. And I know I've got to learn to respect my limits. I've been saying that for years, and it's time for me to actually put that into practice. But it doesn't mean I feel any better about not being able to do things. Again, I guess that's just my process of needing to learn to respect my limits and be okay and accept those and enjoy what I can do. I do try and, be active or get out or just, go to a nice meal, go out in the city and have a nice meal and that, hey, I can do that. And that was an amazing evening. And so appreciate and be really excited and happy for those times. But it's still going to be hard for me to, completely let go of those times that I can't do things. And I do feel like I'm letting people down. Number three, being chronically ill can be embarrassing. Yes, a big part of that is, sometimes you just have to tell people what's going on with you, because you know, especially when it comes to like going out with friends or something. There may be things I really want to do, and that, especially if it's like walking around the city forever. That sounds awesome to a point, getting to see stuff, being out, or like going on trips. I would love to travel so much more, but just energy wise, I can't do it. And it can be embarrassing to tell people you can't hang out because you won't be able to stay up past 8:30 at night. Or it's just so a lot of times for me, I don't tell people, and then I end up pushing myself because I want to hang out or I want to do things, and it's easier for me to do that than to tell you about what's going on with me. And I know that's not healthy, because a part of growing is letting people in and connecting, and sharing that part of yourself. But I think for me, it's a fear of, I don't want people to pity me. I don't want people to think when I'm sharing this situation or my frustrations or just my life with you that I'm asking you to pity me, because I'm not. It's more me just opening up and letting you know this is what's going on. So if I've got to leave a little early, you understand why. It's still a hard lesson for me to learn, because that is just, it's hard for me to open up and to share that, and to really feel secure that you are not going to judge me. But I am working on it. And there was, as far as the embarrassment part, there was a couple different reasons she was saying. One big thing was the high expectation we tend to put on ourselves, and that is very true of me. Like I said before, I want to be able to do what you're doing. I know we're different people and we have different situations, but I think that's just my personality, to be overachiever and all things. And sometimes I may be to my detriment. So it's more, I just need to learn to be okay with telling you what's going on, and accepting whether you may or may not understand that. So that's one thing. Second reason it can be embarrassing, in addition to the cultural message that tells us we can all be healthy and fit, she feels as if the state of my health should be a private matter. Again, yes. Sometimes it's hard to tell people, because I don't know, it can be a little taboo sometimes to talk about it, because then people think, oh, you're just trying to get attention. And not always. It's, sometimes it's a matter of safety. It's like, I would rather let you know that something may or may not happen, so that way if it does, you kind of know how to handle, or you're expecting it. And that way, and it's just, it's better. I need to do that so that I'm not so embarrassed to let you know what's going on. I'm working on it. The third thing is, most of us cherish the independence that came with good health. We find it embarrassing to have to continually depend on loved ones to do so many things for us, from cleaning to shopping to supporting us financially. That is also, yes, a big one for me too. Thankfully, I am able to, mostly get out and do errands by myself if I need to, if we do big shopping trips, credit comes, just because it's a little draining sometimes doing all that by myself. And then, big thing for me, working, it's a little embarrassing, at almost 30, to be able to really only work maybe about 20-25 hours a week. Not because I've not been offered more, I certainly have, but it's more, I can't handle more than that, and that is really embarrassing. Talking to friends from high school or college and catching up, and what are you guys doing? And I work part-time at a chiropractic office, and not that I don't enjoy it, it's just a little embarrassing, and I'm not terribly proud. I know it's not any fault of my own. I'm doing the best I can, and I'm definitely trying to do as much as I can. So I need to learn to just be proud of what I am doing, it still doesn't make it any easier sometimes, because you can see in people's eyes like, oh, that's cool. So it's, you know, that's a little hard sometimes, for people to kind of just be okay with what you're doing and to be proud of you no matter what. It's especially hard when people maybe don't know the extent of your condition. Maybe you know, oh, you were sick, or oh, you know, in the hospital sometimes, or I know you had to go to the doctor a lot, but you don't really know what's going on. And so when they don't really understand the severity of your condition and then see that you're only working this or something, that can be a little hard. I know for me personally, it's a little embarrassing, just because I know I have friends who also have CHD and they're able to work 40 hours a week. Some of them even may be facing surgery and they're still able to. And so for me, it's like, makes me feel really bad about myself sometimes. It's like, man, they, maybe not even in the best physical health of, for them right now, because needing stuff, but they're able to do so much more than I can. And again, I think that's more just me comparing myself to others, which I know isn't healthy, but it doesn't make me feel any less embarrassed, because it's like, you want to be able to keep up with what your peers are doing. And so, and I know they completely understand and are amazing people. And so all my friends out there and family who do understand, and or at least are trying to, I really appreciate it. For anyone else who's maybe in this situation with any sort of chronic illness, I highly, highly recommend this article, and you share it with your friends and family, so that way they can get a little bit of your perspective and maybe things we don't always share with them, because of embarrassment or because it's just easier not to. So this might give them a little bit of insight into your life and what goes on with you mentally, and help them connect with you and share in that situation. So that way we're not alone. I mean, living with a chronic illness itself is a little difficult. Mentally, physically, all sorts of things. And so to have, a group of people that really stand behind you, and even if they've not been in your situation, they're really trying to empathize as much as they can. And that is so, so valuable. So I highly recommend sharing this article, reading it, and just talking about it with your friends and family. That way you guys kind of all get on the same page and you can really start this discussion. Well, that is basically all I have. I miss all you guys. I'm really excited. We have the Congenital Heart Walk is in October, so we're really starting to get stuff planned for that. Find our Facebook page. You should sign up, come to the walk. Really, let's advocate, let's get the word out, and make chronic illness not so negative. It can be awesome. We can live through it and we can enjoy it and be proud and happy and have positive lives. So that's what I want to share with all of you guys. All right, have a good evening. Night.